Welcome to the Israel Answers series, connecting Israel, the Bible, and you. Join Susan Michael as she explores timely issues and current events from a scriptural perspective to equip the Christian world with a balanced and biblical response. Be sure to subscribe for future episodes, which will ignite your faith and bring the Bible to life in your everyday world. Now, let's join Susan with your Israel Answers.
Well, welcome to today's Out of Zion podcast, and I'm your host, Dr. Susan Michael, and I have with me a new friend that I'm really looking forward to getting to know and to introducing him to you. His name is Rabbi Michael Beyo, and he is from Arizona. He's the CEO of the East Valley
Jewish Community Center.
The JCC, and he's got a very interesting project that he's going to share about. So thank you, Rabbi, for being with
Dr.
us
Susan,
today.
thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
So I'm very, very interested in learning about your project. But first, I always like our audience to learn a little bit about you personally. So tell us a little bit about your story.
So I was born in Italy.
Italy?
Yes, in Milano, Italy.
I've
Was
been
born and raised in Italy. Lived in Italy roughly until was 15 years old. I grew up in a very Orthodox, Haredi, ultra-Orthodox community. Went to study then after 15 various rabbinical seminaries. Continued then in Israel. Lived in Israel for over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Maybe even more than 20. And then life brought me to the United States about 20 years ago. I met my wife a few months after I arrived to the States.
So that kept you here.
And that is what kept me here. Yes, the original plan was to come here and do my second master. I said, okay, I'll take like a break from Israel, go to America, do a second master. And then I met my wife, the person who became my wife.
Right.
And so I stayed, and yes. And for the last 10 years, I've been the CEO and the rabbi of the East Valley Jewish Community Center in Greater Phoenix. And it's been the most rewarding and humbling, it's not even a work, it's what I do, it's what I am. So humbling to serve people every day and to connect people to the community and to the scriptures and to religion and to faith and just to be there for the community. It's been humbling.
For the 20 years you lived in Israel, what did you do there?
So for many of them, I was a student. I studied. I became a rabbi young age, and I studied. And then I went into business. My father was a toy manufacturer, and he needed help in his business. So I diverted from the rabbinical path, and I went into business, into toys. I was a toy manufacturer. And one thing led to another, went into toys and then high tech. When I came to the States, I was doing some renewable energy. Then the crash of 2008 came, and I needed to look for, okay, what do I do now?
Yes.
And I've always been teaching, and I published books, and I was a lecturer, and the rabbi in me, the teacher in me, came out and said, okay, let's go back to the original plan.
Well, it sounds like you have what we call in Christianity a shepherd's heart for your flock. Are you actually a rabbi of a synagogue?
I'm the rabbi of the JCC. So we don't have daily religious services, but we have daily studies, and I do chaplaincy, and I do counseling, and I go visit people in the hospitals and homes, and we do food distribution, and we help people with the microgrants, and a lot of teachings, and so I do everything that a congregational rabbi would do and more. Just when it comes to the daily prayers, we don't have that.
And do you have some interfaith relations?
We do a lot. Yes, we do a lot. We do a lot of interfaith, both with Christian communities, also Muslim communities, mostly with the Christian communities a lot. And that's been very rewarding for me, especially because I come from a very ultra-Orthodox background when I was a kid. So I'd never had those opportunities to engage, to have non-Jewish friends. And today, in a lot of the work that I do, I have a lot of non-Jewish friends, a lot of very passionately Christian friends. And one of the things that I love the most is when we open the Torah, the Bible, and we study together.
Together, yes.
And that is some of
That's
my
beautiful.
most beautiful things. I love it when I have Christian members of my community that come to my classes. And it's wonderful. It's so it's been very, very rewarding, both emotionally, faithfully. I think I am a better rabbi and a better Jew because of what I've learned from my Christian friends.
Oh. Could you give an example?
I will share something as my new best friend. uh, many years ago, when there was the financial crash of 2008, I was in business at the time, and the crash wiped me out.
I remember that crash.
Completely.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And I was married with 2 little kids, and it was very, very challenging. I did not know how to pay groceries. It was very, very bad. Through my wife, I met a gentleman, an evangelical Christian. He was born in Lebanon, a Druze that came to America when he was young, and he became an evangelical Christian.
Wow.
And this gentleman that I did not know at the time, he asked, through my wife's friend, he wanted to meet an Orthodox rabbi, because all the other Jews that he had met were not Orthodox. Reform, conservative,
Right.
and he wanted to meet he said, like a real Orthodox rabbi. And we met and we clicked right away. It was Italian, Israeli, Lebanese. We speak with our hands. We're passionate. When we love, we love. When we don't like, we don't like. We're very passionate, and we hit it right off. And we studied, we shared, and after a few times that we met, because of my financial situation, it was very bad. He saw that I was distraught, and he asked me, "What's wrong?" And I explained. I told him. Out of the blue, he takes out his checkbook, and he gives me a check. And that happened number of times. And I know that my friend is still my friend today. His name is Ramsey. And I know that Ramsey did what he did because of his love for Jesus. And in a strange turn of events, I became a better Jew and a better rabbi because of my friend's love for Jesus.
Isn't that beautiful? That is really beautiful. And I hope that your testimony actually creates many, many more things
and
like
that.
that.
For me was very meaningful and still meaningful for me today. Something very personal, very private. But I think that it's so important that I'm okay to share it.
Yes.
And I'm okay to make myself vulnerable about it. But I think that, and I say it, and I will say it forever, that it is his love for Jesus made him want to help me.
Yes.
And it is thanks to that I became a better Jew and a better rabbi.
And we never know, some little thing like that,
Exactly.
what it will do,
Yes.
what it will mean.
Yes, and that has been very meaningful for me.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Yeah.
So let's talk about your project.
Yeah.
So you have started a project called 6 Million
6 million voices, yes.
that brings with a lot of meaning.
Sure.
So tell us about it.
So 6 million voices started as a way to teach about the Holocaust to people that will never go to Auschwitz. How can we do that? And so we started by doing it with Zoom and presentations, and then we said, that's not good enough. So we invested time and efforts and resources, and we created a full platform, and not only the platform, but also the content creation to create meaningful, impactful, interactive walkthrough of Auschwitz. We did just now a story about Kristallnacht, Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, that the user can really experience the meaning that is beyond just the facts. What does it mean? The connection to faith. How did people survive Auschwitz? Faith. How people, Kristallnacht. I put into that the stories that my grandmother told me of what she experienced in Kristallnacht as a young girl in Vienna. And this has been very successful. We reached 350,000 individuals in the States, 70,000 high school students through hundreds of schools. And we are continuing doing that. And we have live sessions and we have interactive sessions. And we do 3D panorama reconstructions of locations that don't exist anymore. So it's really engaging. We use pictures and videos and historians and archaeologists, very, very historically based and very meaningful. And then we realized, okay, we have something here that we can expand beyond Holocaust education. And especially after October 7, I decided that I don't want to tell the story of the Jews only about the Holocaust. We have to tell the story of the Jewish people that resonates about the values and the happiness and the joy and the success and the revelations and what is in Tanakh and what God said. And so we have to tell those meaningful stories that don't just put the Jewish people, oh, okay, there was a Holocaust, 6 years, started in this state, ended in that, that's all they know about Jews. No. I am not Jewish because of the Holocaust. I'm Jewish despite the Holocaust.
Right.
Jewish history is so rich. The Judeo-Christian values that we share, that have created this beautiful country, it's because of the Tanakh. It's because of the Judeo-Christian values that we share and that we have. And so how can we tell meaningful Bible stories that are impactful, that are not just a paper or a YouTube documentary? How can I make it impactful for today's generation? And so that's what we do. And so that's where we came here. It's my first time at NRB, to have those connections and see how we can create stories, not only my stories, but your story. And how can we create stories together?
I think it's very important. You know, a lot of Christians that don't know Jewish people, that never been to Israel. I know when I was a teenager when I first went to Israel. But I had this idea in my mind that Judaism was just a dead legalistic religion, right? But by meeting Jewish people, and especially in Israel, that was my main place where I met them, I realized it's a very alive faith.
Yes.
It's not dead at all. And even in Christianity, we have a sector that is a dead legalistic approach even of Christianity. So to meet someone like you, that your faith is so alive and it produces love and caring for people and this zeal for life. That's what we want our Christian audience to meet. So it's so wonderful that they get to meet you today. But tell us a little bit more, like, how are you going to do this exactly?
So the reason that we came here to NRB is to meet pastors, ministers, organizations like yours, that each one has a story to tell. You may want to tell the story of maybe the history of Jerusalem, from the Jebusite to today. You may want to recreate what the temple looked like with the storytelling and narration and 3D animation and panoramas. That's what we do. So we can take our stories. Yeah. You may want to tell the story, the life of Jesus. And you may be not a studio. You don't have the budget to create a full movie. Okay, we do museum grade quality, but we don't do it at the museum grade cost.
Right.
and we developed processes that we can create those amazing, meaningful stories that are immersive, interactive, and that are approachable for many, many thousands of organizations and ministries, and to reach millions of people, hopefully.
So, how will our listeners be able to tap into this and benefit?
So I would say that if you are an individual and you want to learn more about what we do or participate in one of our either live or interactive sessions, go to 6millionvoices.org.
And that's SIX.
Yes, ma'am.
6
Yes.
million voices.
6millionvoices.org.
.org.
And if you are a leader in an organization, if you are a minister, if you have a story to tell and you want to tell it in a more engaging, immersive way, contact us. And also through either 6millionvoices.org or and then we will be able to engage and have a conversation. How can we create something together?
So give us some examples of what kind of stories you're looking for.
Can be, for instance, as I said, a story of telling the story of Jerusalem, telling the story of Shiloh, with reconstructed archaeological fact-based, but it emotionally engaging. We connected it to the text to show where the text and would really bring you in where the user is activating the story. And you're not just passively watching a Netflix or a YouTube video. So it's engaging. It is, you can use it on your computer or on your phone, on location even. And so it's immersive, you're in it. We can be a story of, can be, the life story of Jesus, the life story of in Via Dolorosa, the station of the cross, the station of the cross. So it can be a very first-person walk for the millions of people that it's not on their bucket list to come to Israel. We can bring Israel to them. And it's not only by watching a YouTube video, but there is historical, emotional. And if you are a minister or if you're a Christian leader, you can be the narrator. You yourself are the narrator. So it becomes your story, your product that you share with your community.
Interesting, very unique and innovative. And I can sense your background as a toy manufacturer and as IT, and then as a rabbi. It's all coming together, isn't it? Well, that's beautiful. Well, we wish you well. We pray God's blessing on what you're doing. You're bringing the Tanakh, the Torah, that's the Hebrew Bible, alive.
Yes.
To the world and connecting it to the very places where it took place and the archaeological finds that support the biblical text, which are all of them.
Yes.
There's no archaeology that it all supports.
But as you said yesterday, so many people, they read the Bible, but they don't necessarily know where that is. They don't necessarily connect it. We can show it to them.
So, and that's why we always we just encourage every Christian to make that trip to Israel to call apostles.
Sure.
Because that's what happened. When you sit on the hillside and you read the story that took place there, and you realize then how the story is so accurate, and there's details in it you didn't even catch when you were reading it back home in Florida. But there, sitting, you realize the details are exactly the way it happened because the pass comes from the north, the mountains are to the east, and the valley is to the west. It's just exactly as it was described, and it comes alive, and that's what you're wanting to bring.
And with our solution, so you can be on the hillside with your phone, with your tablet, and you see the hillside, but you also see what you looked like thousands of years ago. And so now it comes
I love that, because I don't have the imagination to imagine the stories. That's why I love watching movies that are reenactments of Bible stories, because I just don't have that imagination. And so to have that there,
and now you can bring it on location.
Yes. Well, Rabbi Michael, it's been very
so
nice
much.
talking to
you.
you, and we do really wish God's blessings on your project,
So,
bringing the Bible alive.
thank you so
That's
much.
what it's all about.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you for listening in today. And we're going to put a link down in today's show notes so that you can learn more about this 6 Million Voices project. God bless. Hey, just give me one more minute. I want to offer you one of our free resources. We have wonderful resources in our show notes. And if you go to our website at icejusa.org/show notes, you'll find links for a number of our free offers. We have downloadables to help root you in Scripture, help you to understand the issues surrounding Israel, and the importance of Christian support for Israel. And don't forget, please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and stay connected. Thank you, and God bless.
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Out of Zion with Susan Michael. Be sure to subscribe to Out of Zion now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Pray.com, Salem One Place, Salem Life Audio. Out of Zion with Susan Michael is a production of ICEJ USA, all rights reserved.